Hello, hello, gorgeous human, Michael Edwards coming to you live. I'm so excited to be joining you tonight for this conversation. I'm going to be having a very special conversation with you about invisible glass ceilings and giving you some information, some zhuzh on how we can break through them. If you're here joining me live, say hello and let me know that you're here. If you're new in my world and this is your first time catching me live, say hello and let me know that you're here. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay down below and let me know that you stopped by. So, I want to start by telling you a story in my life about how this sneaky little pattern of getting capped with this invisible ceiling was kind of really this pattern of self sabotage that I didn't recognize for such a long time. And this really stood out to me when I lived in Australia and I was a choreographer. I worked really hard to get some big opportunities. And so there was this one in particular where I had met this famous choreographer and I had worked at his school and we had kind of networked. I had worked at like the big local dance company there. It was called Sydney Dance Company. It was like this big school. And there were all these things kind of in the works. And I could see coming down the pipe were these things. It was like I was gonna maybe get suggested for choreographing this huge event. There were different things that were just kind of in the works as possibilities. And a bunch of life stuff happened, and I ended up moving home. And I remember reflecting on this afterwards and thinking about it and being like, I've had this happen so many times where I've almost gotten to this point. It's like I've had huge success, but then I've been on the precipice of just this next level. And it was like I could feel it, touch it, taste it, smell it, but it never fully actualized. And I recognized that this has happened a number of times in my life. And I remember sharing this with a friend of mine who's a lovely friend. And we used to talk about, share about all kinds of things. And I said to her, and this happened, and I almost got to this like next level, and I kind of step back, and this has happened a couple of times. And she said, well, if you get that close and you pull away and you feel like you don't want it, maybe that means something. And what she meant by that was that maybe it means that that's not actually what I want and not actually what I made for. And so I kind of took that on board, and I decided to sort of retire from what I was doing and live in a small town. And I just ended up in this relationship that was super misaligned, that was not at all expansive or what I wanted, and living kind of on the farm and doing this farm life thing. And it just wasn't in alignment with who I was. And so I was telling myself this story of like, well, I almost got to this huge level and then it was not really what I want. I just want this normal life. I just want to settle down. And I had all of these people and situations around me that reflected this back to me. And so that became the truth that I believed, but that was not, in fact, the truth. And it wasn't until years later that, I did all the training and I became a coach and a hypnotherapist, and energy healer, all the things. And I really understood human behavior on the level that I understand now, that I was able to look back and recognize that all of these times when I was younger that I had almost gotten to these massive levels of success and then pulled back at the last minute or something had come in was actually self-sabotage, and was actually different kinds of these invisible glass ceilings that I'm talking about today, where it the pattern is so ingrained that you don't even see it in the moment. And this is one of the reasons that I value mentorship so much, is because if I had any of the mentors that I have now, I would be able to have that conversation with them, and I would have such a different conversation than I had with my friend, who just kind of reinforced this belief of like, oh, that's, maybe not really who you are, not really what you want. It is who I was. It is what I wanted. It is who I was. But there was a lot that was coming up subconsciously and energetically in terms of fear, in terms of one of the biggest things that holds us back from truly creating what it is that we want to create and truly being the full living, breathing embodiment of what our purpose and what we are here to do at the biggest level is this unconscious desire to belong. We have this programming, this coding to belong and to try to fit in. And without meaning to, what happens is it keeps us small. We try to fit in. We have these ideas of what our family will accept or what our friends will accept or what's too much. And we shrink ourselves without even realizing it consciously a lot of the time, to fit in these boxes. And until we can really step out of those boxes, those limitations of it's not even what they actually imagine, it's what we imagine that they imagine. It's kind of a trickery of the mind. Until we can step out of that, we will still be limited. And I see this at all kinds of different levels. People that are first stepping out into, online entrepreneurship, and they have to promote their business and be seen and working through visibility stuff for the first time. This is a level that I see it at. And I see it at a huge level. I see it at people that have multi-million dollar enterprises that are already doing big things, but there's another level. And they've sort of hit this ceiling of what feels safe, what feels normal, what feels comfortable. And there's this invisible barrier between them and what is truly their next level. And the biggest resource in my world and in my work that we have cultivated and that we cultivate for this is what I call becoming internally defined. And becoming internally defined is all about kind of overwriting those programs and codes that make us want to dim and fit in a smaller box in order to fit in, and really defining who we are. And this is not something that can be done just consciously, although the conscious piece is valuable. It has to happen subconsciously and energetically. If we don't have all three layers, conscious, subconscious, and energetic, locked in, we will continue this loop. The law of cycles and patterns says that we will continue the same cycles in our life until we break the patterns that create them. And so becoming internally defined, and it feels like kind of cutting all these cords and reprogramming all of these unconscious pieces that can lead us to sabotage, that can lead us to just being blocked again and again and again and repeating those cycles, is so fundamental. And it's such a big part of my work. And again, it's something that exists at every level. It's not just like, oh, it's a beginner's thing. It actually gets more clever. The further along that we get, the further along we get with how visible we are, how much wealth we're creating, how actualized we are in our purpose, the more nuance there is, and the more you really have to be in deep alignment and fully internally defined, so relentlessly connected to who we are, so that we don't and end up in one of these patterns of kind of looping with self-sabotage or blocking ourselves. So the reason I'm talking to you about this today is because I have a couple of very exciting things going on right now. So there is a hidden offer going on right now in my world, the October hidden offer. If you have not done a hidden offer with me before, it's super fun. I launch an offer with very little details at a starting price. And then as I release more details, the price goes up. The vibe is meant to be fun. It's celebration. It's like, if you just get this intuitive, effortless, heck yes, I'm in, to jump in. It's not about pressure. It's not about, having to do it from any place that doesn't feel good. You're welcome to wait until there's more information. If that feels more aligned, the price obviously will go up as that happens. So the reason I'm talking to you about this is because there is this conversation about being internally defined is going to be one of the big pieces of this October hidden offer. So we're going to be doing a module on becoming internally defined, which is my favorite thing. One of my favorite things, is one of the key components of authentic power and of self-realization. And so I am thrilled for anyone who wants to jump in and do this work with me. This is such an incredible place to start in the October hidden offer. We're going to be doing this work of becoming internally defined. So the first part, I actually just added this as a bonus module, is the becoming internally defined. And then the second part is this whole sequence of clearing and grounding and kind of this self-energetic work. And so the other piece to this is that we can't be this is just what's coming through, and we can't be under the influence when we're going through our day and when we're going through our life. A lot of the times we kind of get hooked into things, and then maybe I'm disturbed by this, or I'm bothered by that, or this thing this person said is with me and informing me, bothering me in the back of my mind. Maybe there's some doubt, some fear, or maybe I was just with someone that was kind of like a bad vibe, vibe and I took that on in my field and I don't know how to clear it. We have to be able to clear and neutralize all of that and get back to this net zero point, this place of limitless self-belief where we're neutral, where we're us, where we're connected to our highest, most expanded self, and we're not hooked into any lower energies that are going to pull us off course. So I'm so excited because for the first time, I'm going to be sharing with you a sequence, a practice for doing this work, for neutralizing and grounding and clearing and coming back to that center. And I'm really going to be teaching you some of the tools that I do myself to shift my own energy and to play with my own beliefs, because this is becoming, the more experienced I get and the more high level I play at, I'll say, the more I play with my beliefs, particularly my money beliefs. So I'm going to be teaching you how I do that in this. So we've got part one. This is a lot being revealed actually for a hidden offer, but there's more to come. So part one is this work of becoming internally defined, which really is such a monumental piece of breaking through those glass ceilings and cutting out these loops, these patterns and cycles of self-sabotage. Part two is learning this sequence, this self practice of clearing, grounding, and centering, and then learning how to play with your own beliefs so that you're going through your day, your life, your whatever, not hooked in and in the driver's seat of your life and your decision making, and you're not being influenced by any lower external energies that you might have gotten connected to and picked up. And then part three is going to be super special, but I haven't released that part yet because this is a hidden offer. And so I will, I think, release that when I release the branding, and the price will go up quite a bit more. So the October hidden offer is what I'm talking about right now. And right now the price is 210. It is available in my link in bio, or you can just comment, actually just comment on this post. You can just say hidden, just comment hidden on this live. If you're on Instagram right now, you need to send me a DM because it goes away. But otherwise, just comment hidden or send me a DM if you're on Instagram that says hidden, and I will send you the link. So that's October's hidden offer is $210 right now. It will continue to go up as I release more details. We're going to be doing this incredible work of becoming internally defined and taking back our power from all these places that we've projected them out, where we've let in other people's beliefs, other people's limitations, where we're still unconsciously trying to fit in and belong and make ourselves small in ways that we may not even consciously realize. We're going to be doing this as the first module, the first part of the October hidden offer. And then we're going to be going into this self work, into this amazing self work practice. We're going to teach you a sequence to clear, to ground, to get back to this net zero place subconsciously and energetically, and then how to play with your beliefs, how to tinker with your beliefs, and how to clear your own energy and get back to this place where you can move connected to your power, free of other people's energy, other people's influence. So when you're tuning into self-trust and you're tuning into your intuition and you're trying to move, with the guidance from your highest self to create big results, big money, big success in your life, you're not hooked in and you don't have this doubt and this fear and different things connected to you that are pulling you back, keeping you small. So I am so excited about this hidden offer. It's going to be a really spicy one. And if you've never done a hidden offer with me before, the vibe is over deliver. The vibe is service, service, service. The vibe is totally next level, out of this world, and that is my intention for this one. It's actually, when I was making the list of things that I wanted to talk about for this, I almost increased the price again because, like, this is so valuable, but I was like, no, I want to keep it in the spirit of a hidden offer and give those opportunities to come in at all those price points. And I have so much fun with hidden offers as well, because they really are aligned with how I create them, which is that I get a hit and I'm like, okay, we've got to have a conversation about this. And this actually came a lot from, I've had a lot of private clients doing VIP weeks recently. And a lot of things have come up around this becoming internally defined. I can see where they've got hooks from different people, different relationships, different subconscious patterns in their lives, holding them back from what it is that we're creating. And the results when I do this work with people in my VIP weeks is out of this world. And so I was like, okay, we've got to put together an offer and a sequence and teach this and add it to my programs. So here it is. This is the offer being brought to life. But the fun thing about doing the hidden offers for me is that this is kind of how I create, is that I get the hit and I go, okay, I'm going to do this thing about this, and then all the pieces drop in, and so I get to sell it to you as I'm creating it, which is so fun because it's how I create, and then I get to bring you along with all the energy and all the pieces. So it's super fun. It's one of my favorite things that happens in my world. And of course, if you're in any of my paid containers, then you get this included absolutely free. So if you have access to the essence, the authenticity archive, then you already have this included and you do not need to purchase it. But for those of you who would like to dive in, maybe it's your first time trying this work with me, maybe you have not been in my world for a while and you want to see what's new, what's up, this October hidden offer is going to be spectacular. So I really invite you to jump in if you're getting that intuitive hit and that yes pull to come in. And again, you can just comment on this post hidden, or if you're on Instagram, you need to send me a DM that says hidden. And yeah, I will send you the info. So that is October's hidden event. We're going to be doing the work of becoming internally defined and really teaching this powerful sequence to clear and center yourself. There's one final part, but I'm not going to announce that part. It's actually kind of a big final part, but I'm not going to announce that yet. I will announce that when more details come out and the price goes up. Speaking of VIP weeks, I also am for the first time ever sharing this with the public. So I've had these VIP weeks for a while, but they've mostly been for my existing clients, or just a lot of the stuff in the private work in my world is just kind of in the if you know, you know. And so though I have been doing this for a while, I've never advertised it and I've never shared it publicly. However, I'm very excited that that is changing, and I am opening up VIP weeks right now to everyone. I do only have so many spots between now and the end of the year because I only hold so many one-to-one clients at a time. And I do have a big mastermind coming up as well. So that's going to take up a lot in November. And then we'll be booking into like late January in the new year. So if you have been thinking about diving into one-to-one with me, you've been really curious, this is such an incredible place to start. And I'll tell you, I've been tinkering with sessions and intakes and kind of like tasters of one-to-one for a while. But when I built this, I really built it with the intention of how can I put something together and create an experience where people are going to get such powerful results. Getting results for you, for my clients, is the intention that went into crafting these VIP weeks. I realized that with a session, we can have incredible breakthroughs and we can get amazing shifts, but the supportive work that comes around that, the reinforcement, the tools, the reflections, the being guided through weird little things that your mind might come up with where you might undo some of the work, is actually so important for getting a long-term result, especially when we're talking about high pressure, high level results that have to do with business and success. Now, not everyone that does these VIP weeks does them for business and success. I have a lot of people that do them for personal things as well. But I really built it around that idea of like, what can I do that you will walk away from this and know, know that you are different, that you are energetically and action wise, that's not the best language, different from this time. And so with a VIP week, you get a energy healing session with me. We start with an energy healing session, and then we have 5 Telegram days. So if they go over my business days, which are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So it really ends up being kind of like a week and a half. And during those Telegram days, we go back and forth in Telegram, and you can ask me questions, share anything that's coming up, and I will give you my eyes on you basically, and give you the riffs about things. I had a client recently who did one of these VIP weeks, and in her second Telegram day, I riffed a bunch of stuff about the psychodynamics and attachment styles and energetics and the patterns that I was seeing with her and her relationships. And she just voice noted back in tears and was like, "This was so valuable. If I got nothing else other than these the energy healing and these 15 minutes of Telegram riffs, like I got my money's worth and then some." And so the vibe of these again is just like incredible, eyes on you, results focused. So we have the energy healing session, the 5 Telegram Telegram days, and then you get another 90-minute session. So it's either a recoding session, which is kind of my fusion of hypnosis and energy work, or you get a frequency mapping session. So it depends if you're kind of on defense or offense, I would say. If you're like on defense and something's wrong that you're working on, we'd probably go with the recoding session and really work on like digging out what's kind of going on subconsciously, unconsciously, and energetically. And if you are just like just wanting to smash forward, like next level everything, next level results, next level money goals, then we would go with the frequency mapping session. We'll literally map out your next level frequency. And when I say the results people get from these are extraordinary, they are extraordinary. In the last couple months doing this, I've had a client hit 100K months consistently for the first time in her business. I had another client who is in massive contraction around money do a complete 180 and do 20K in a couple of days. And I had another person double their their price for their one-to-one and call in a client within like 10 days, I think, after we worked together. And this is in addition to huge personal wins. I had someone that totally, remapped the way they were showing up in relationships. They understood their attachment wounds and were able to move into a more securely attached place and show up in their primary relationship in a much more loving and connected way. So this was amazing. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm obsessed with the VIP weeks. They're so good. So you get the energy healing session, the 5 days of Telegram, you get the second 90-minute session, you get to pick, and I'll help you pick because it comes later in the journey, so you can't pick wrong. We'll do either the recoding session or the frequency mapping session. And then you also get a personalized transformational recording. So use, again, hypnosis and energy work to make you a personalized recording to listen to every night, because that repetition is so huge for wiring things into the subconscious mind and energetically, which is going to help us create these results and anchor in the changes. And again, this whole thing being focused around results, that was the vibe. So for me, these VIP weeks are absolutely huge in my world. They're so powerful. People get so much out of them. I just love them. They're one of the greatest things that I've ever created. So those are available now to book. There are a limited amount. It's $4,400 to book that. So again, you can send me a message, or the link is in my bio for the VIP weeks. I'm like, do I have anything else to say about this? I don't think so. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a VIP week with me. It's my eyes, my gifts, my magic, everything on you one-to-one for a week. Again, because it's on business days, it ends up really being like a week and a half. And they are truly magical, truly magical. And it's been such a beautiful thing behind the scenes. So I'm really excited to be sharing this publicly and inviting you in as well now. So I think that's most of what I had to talk about today. We've got the October hidden offer is out right now. And then also VIP weeks with me. I'm just going to check the comments. The usual things from YouTube. And let me just look on Instagram. Hello, hello. See many of you here. So if you know that it is time for a next level results, really stepping into this, I'll tell you this actually. I feel like at different times in life and career, there are these moments where we're working on different things and we really have these different energies. And I'll tell you, there's two things right now that are so anchored in and that I'm continuing to anchor in on a deeper level that I think no matter where you come and work with me in my world, you're going to get some of this. And those two things are, one, the really, really tuning into and revealing our limitless self. I feel like people say that a lot of the time. I've heard that so many times and I've said it, but I think in my mind it was like, oh, but there's a new level. There's a new level of understanding that I have around this. There's a new level that I'm tuning into energetically, and there's a new level that I am helping my clients tap into. Us as a soul, divine source moving through us, we are truly limitless. We are limitless in our ability to create, in our ability to call things in. And yeah, this the work that I've been doing and the belief that I have around this and the ability to pull this out in clients is just been become totally next level. So this is no matter what you jump into with me, even if you're just like listening to my podcast and keeping an eye on my free work, this is something right now that is so big, so big. We are really pulling back, peeling back the limitations and tapping into our limitless ability to create. The other thing is, I'm like, oh my God, what's the other thing? There's two things. Oh, it gets to be easy. The other thing is how truly easy and in flow it gets to be. And I always want to be careful when I say this because I think, we're all hearing through our own paradigms. And so I think some people hear that and they think without work. And that's not what I'm saying. You still have to show up. We still have to, do the work and become the best versions of ourselves. But in terms of the level of ease and flow and alignment with our blueprint and our purpose that we get to operate in, it gets to be so easy. And I just had a conversation with one of my gorgeous friends, Danielle Amos, right before this call, and she was talking about we just had a magical week together, and we're sharing our genius with each other. We had an incredible free 3-day event called Dismantle. If you haven't watched the replays yet, you have to watch that. It is, again, the links are available in my bio. But anyways, we've both been like deepening into trust, deepening into this truth embodiment, aligning energetically and beliefs to this. It gets to be easy. And for both of us, so many incredible things have just been rolling in, rolling in, rolling in. And it really does get to be easy. It'll be as hard as you believe it will be. So as you truly tune into and calibrate that belief that it gets to be easy, and not a belief where it's like, I'm trying to believe it, but everything in my actions, my doubt and my fear and everything is pointing in a different direction. Not that. The thing where we're fully aligned with that belief and that truth that it gets to be easy. And we get to have that lived experience and call it in, create. We don't have to be afraid of difficulty or contrast or opposition because those are things that are going to come into our life, but that we get to have that ease. We get to be in flow and we get to call things in. We get to have that alignment. So it gets to be easy, and tuning into your limitless self are two big things right now. And again, if you want to jump into my world, we've got the October hidden offer, which I cannot recommend enough. And then if you want to work with me one-to-one, these VIP weeks are so juicy. I also have an incredible mastermind that is going to be coming up with Danielle called The Chamber. So watch out for that as well. So I'm just going to look one more time. I don't think that there's any comments. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is a little late night riff and chat. I would love to know if there's a takeaway from you, anything else, or even if you've just been in, because there have been a lot of free things that I've been creating lately. If there's any of the free stuff that you've been in lately that you've really been touched by, you've really been impacted by, there was a really big takeaway for you. I would love it if you would just share on this post. I would love to hear it, and I would love to just for you to share so that other people can see and be connected to that as well. So hello, Theo. I see you there, buddy. Sending a heart, sending so much love back to you. And you guys, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Michael Edwards. I'll see you real soon. I'm sending you so much love, and